So we have a few questions in the chat, in the Q&A. Let's see. So let me get one of these. Let me grab one of these questions. So we got a question from Jackie. It says, who do you look up to for inspiration or mentorship? That's a great question.
Yeah. So actually quite a few people. I'm really encouraged by some of the Black women now who are just, again, continuing to break new ground and barriers. Tashonda Duckett, now new CEO of TIAA, and Rosalind Brewer, now CEO of Walgreens. You know, I'm really excited and proud about the barriers that they continue to break, but also I'm very mindful about like uplifting them and like praying for them, because I know it's hard doing what they do. And I think a lot of people think, oh, when I get to that seat, things will be better. Oh, when I get to that seat, I can do more, or I'll have less obstacles. And the answer is no, you won't. It's just a different set of obstacles and barriers. And so you got to learn how to be content and how to be solution oriented in the seat you're in, because those challenges don't go away.
No, that's a great point. So here we have another question. Oh, this is a good one. What is one decision you wish you didn't make?
I wish I didn't wait so long to start taking more risks. I wish that that I knew my worth and that I named the boogeyman earlier. You know, I tell people all the time, don't get me wrong, because like I had a wonderful career at Caterpillar, and again, have been on 6 of the 7 continents in the world, not in Antarctica, and don't plan on it. But you know, and had a great life. But I had to leave Caterpillar to know I knew how to leave. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like sometimes you can stay somewhere so long that you don't even know how to leave.
Yeah. Totally get it.
Yeah.
Totally get it. And we see it all the time as well. I see it on the recruiting side quite a bit. With
yeah.
People. Yeah. Here's a question. It says, what are the most important attributes of successful leaders today?
I think that's individually defined. So for me, for me, it's a couple things. You know, everything is attached to a story, so why not?
Yeah, why not?
So there was a point where I was like, you know what? I should think about doing something, you know, thinking about whether or not I wanted to. I'm not going to say what company or what job I was doing when this happened, but I was thinking about making a career shift, and just out of frustration. And that's another thing. Never run from something, only run to something. Because when you run from something, listen, when you run from something, it greets you in the next place.
Yes.
At the old place, the something name was Stephanie, and the new place, her name is Jill. But the same situation shows up. So never run from something, always run to something. But for me, it was really asking myself in terms of success, like, do I feel like I have the ability to make a difference? Do I feel like, and the phrase I always use is, can I scratch out a little corner of the world and make it better for a few other people? Yeah. And for me, that's what success looks like.
No, that's great. Hey, I see a great question in here from Eddie. Shout out to Eddie. What was the best conversation you had regarding ID&E with a movie star?
Oh, I'm having some amazing ones right now. We're in the process of rolling out a new inclusion policy, which I'm super excited about. And, you know, to be able to talk to people who are doing this work, and who are, you know, mega stars, and are like, thank you. Usually we're the ones asking the studio to do better. And I appreciate the studio coming to us and asking us to do better, right? Because it's going to take us collectively to uplift this industry. And so, part of the reason why, I get to do this work is so that we can create an ecosystem for talent where they can make room at the table for other people. So when I get to sit down with people like, Lena Waithe or Michael B. Jordan or Viola Davis and Daniel Day Kim and Nnamdi Asomugha and talk about, listen, the whole point of you being here is so that you can make room at the table for other talent that that should be producers and directors and writers, right? So if you get this deal with Amazon and you don't impact the industry in any meaningful way, then that's a fail on us. If every time we shoot a television series or a movie and we don't leave that community better than we found it, that's a fail for us. Like, we have this incredible opportunity to really drive meaningful change. Let's do it. And so those are the most fun conversations. And I'm really grateful because I think, listen, I haven't been in the entertainment business a long time, so I won't pretend to know how everybody else works. But with the talent that I do talk to, they all have been like, wow, this is different. Like, we don't normally see this at a studio. We don't normally have these kind of conversations with the studio. And we've never seen a DEI team work like yours. So, which I take as a compliment. But, listen, I'm over halfway done with my life. If I cannot make an impact, then what am I doing?
Yeah. No, I think it's a great, even just some of the conversation you and I had, before we got started, it that came through loud and clear. One of the questions, we got one more question here that we'll take. I want to be respectful of your time. And this question is, how do you keep your team motivated despite conflict and obstacles?
Yeah. So it's funny because just a couple of weeks ago, I had, as we were preparing for, the cycle of, new goals for the year, performance feedback, all of that kind of things, I required each of my team members to come to the conversation with their 3 reasons. What are your 3 reasons for doing this work? Because, those of us who do diversity, equity, and inclusion work, we know that you don't get into this work because, you have a passion for it, or you have a passion for people. This work is about research. It's about numbers. It's about education. It's about changing systems. It's about building mechanisms. Like, if you only got in this because you wanted to do unconscious bias training, go find another line of work, because that won't change. People have been doing that for 30 plus years and the world still looks like it looks. Yeah. So I had my team come with their 3 reasons. What are your 3 reasons for doing this work? Like, why do you get up every day and do this work? Because you need to know. So the days when it gets hard and it's kicking your behind, why am I doing this work? And the other thing is, a lot of people who do this work also wear marginalized identities, right? Yeah. So you find more people of color, more women, more LGBTQ, more people with disabilities who are naturally drawn to this work. And so you are living this personally, and you're doing it in your day job. So you particularly have to know your 3 whys. Otherwise, sometimes it gets to be too much. So that's what I always remind my team, this is your why. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you've been involved in this for a long time. I want to ask you this last question, and then we'll wrap it up. Is you see a lot of energy from all the things that have happened over the past year. There seems to be some renewed vigor in moving this forward. What's your take on kind of how it's going to keep moving forward, or are we going to see the stall that we've seen before if you've been around this for any period of time?
It depends on if we keep letting people off the hook. So, I know a lot of people are, over cancel culture, right? They're like, we've just become too cancel culture. And I do think cancel culture can go too far. But I do think people should stop and ask the question, how did or why did cancel culture come into an existence? And it really was because we lacked cultures of accountability. Right? So when people couldn't take accountability for their own actions, when people couldn't make atonement and make corrections to their own behavior, to their own systems and processes, right? Then people held them accountable by canceling them. Then if you can't get there on your own, fine.
Yeah.
We'll go elsewhere. And so I think there's some value in looking at, you know, why people have resulted to cancel culture and what are you willing to do? And so, you know, I know one thing, that in addition to the work that we all are doing, you know, I think this is also a moment in time where, you know, white people have to be talking to white people, right? So I think there's, you know, straight people have to be talking to straight people. Able-bodied people have to be talking to able-bodied people. Like those of us who wear any form of privilege, you know, have to be willing to concede power in order to make space and equitable reparations for those who have lacked it.
Yeah, no, that's a powerful point. It's a powerful point you've made. I think you brought up some phenomenal points and shared some amazing information for everyone on here. I think there's something to take away for, and this has been a fantastic conversation. I don't know if you have any last parting words for our guest.
Listen, I'm just appreciative of the conversation and the fact that people would tune in and watch and ask questions. And Cody, I appreciate you for all the work you're doing in this space, and really honored to be among the thought leaders that you have brought to the table. And so thank you for having me, for inviting me.
I am thrilled and gracious that you agreed to join us. You've done some amazing stuff. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing some of the great things you're going to continue to do at scale for Amazon. So we appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
All right, take care. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.